Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Product and Cake. Today, in the virtual recording studio with me is Paul. How you doing, Paul?
I am doing great. Hello, Ghonce. So nice to have you. How are you today?
Yay. I'm good. I'm really happy that we are now in the second episode of our season 3, which is quite different from our previous seasons.
Right, we want to tackle everything you have to know to become a super successful product manager, be it because you are in your early days of your career or because you are the founder of a startup and you need to somehow push forward your product, or you are thinking about switching careers.
Yeah.
All of that is valid and matches our personas. And yeah, you will get everything you need to know here in this and the following episodes.
Exactly.
But
And yeah, I wanted to ask if you already have a checking question for today. Or
I
should we,
have then.
before the checking question, share what's the topic today?
No, let's start with the check-in question because this is
Let's
really to set the stage, right? To let
Okay.
everyone arrive to the meeting and to create a human connection to your peers. So it's a very good idea to start all important meetings with kind of these questions. And
True.
my question for you today is, what currently gives you hope?
Ooh, that's a very deep question. um, there's a lot of things that gives me hope right now, and for sure, the world is also a little bit weird right now. So it deducts a lot of hope as well. But my dog gives me a lot of hope. My partner gives me a lot of hope. And I also recently started a challenge that is giving me something to look forward in the future. I don't know if you know 75 hard.
Mm-mm.
It's a challenge that lasts 75 days. And to be honest, I knew about it from a couple years ago, but every time I thought about it, I was like, it's impossible. I cannot even do it for one day. Yeah. But yeah, I'm in day 6 of the challenge
And
and
what
it's
are you
going
doing?
really well. So it has 6 different rules. One is that you need to do 2 45-minute workouts every day, um, one indoor, one outdoor. You need to drink a gallon of water every day. You need to stick to a diet, like set a diet and stick to it. Read 10 pages of a book every day. Um, what else? I need to look at my spreadsheet because I couldn't remember all of them for every day. So I created a spreadsheet for myself. Um, and you need to take a progress picture every day. Yeah, water I said, workouts I said. And yeah, so these are the main rules. I also added that I wanted to walk 10,000 steps every day, which is kind of aligned a little bit with the workout. So with when you're working out that much, you're probably also gonna step walk that much. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's
Having a healthy body definitely
ex-
can give you hope.
exactly, and it's a challenge both for mind and also physical challenge, because you think no, it's impossible and it's very late at night and you're like, yeah, I still need to finish another 1,000 steps, and like, okay, let me just go for for a quick walk outside. So it's really really fun. I hope I continue say this until the day 44. And how about you, Paul? What gives you hope?
So, what I did is stopping to listen to the radio, and I
Ooh.
tried to avoid as much news, daily news as possible. And what I am doing is reading a newspaper once a week.
Well,
So, a weekly newspaper that wraps up everything. And I realized that really gives me hope because it allows me to concentrate on my family and on my job and my life and so on, and not being constantly mentally pulled out of this situation here and just be confronted with all the craziness of the world. And the newspaper I'm reading is really good and is balanced, right? It's not too crazy.
interesting.
That
That's
helps.
that's cool. That's really cool. Maybe that can be my
That
10 pages of a book
yeah, at least once a week.
once a week. Yeah.
Um, that could fit. Yeah, good. And then read the newspaper in German, and then season 4 we will record in German.
No, I don't think in one season my German can improve that much.
Okay, but what can be improved is everything related to product work, right? Because
True.
it's a constant learning, that's for sure. And today we want to tackle one important topic that is maybe good to align again on. And the title is: What are the key responsibilities and skills required for product management?
Yep.
So that is
Exactly.
our topic. And I'm just thinking maybe all of our listeners know it already because it will be most likely written in the title. So here you have it again. And we want to dive in. Goncha, maybe you have something out of your mind. What was the most unexpected skill you need to develop for your career in product management?
Ooh, what's the one that I didn't expect? Hmm.
Spontaneous deep questions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We all
yeah.
love
It's
them.
exactly. I expected a lot of. I thought in the very beginning that I need to have a tech knowledge, or I need to have a deep knowledge of the business, or which, to be honest, you do, but not necessarily a very deep knowledge. Like you don't necessarily need to be the same as deep as a finance team deep, but you definitely need it. What I did not expect was meeting management.
Yeah.
I thought we are
Aspect.
people, we will go to the meetings and we all know how to behave and we all do things the similar way, and it's the meeting gets done and like everything is nice and shiny. But no, like you need a very like moderating a meeting was something I was not necessarily expecting. For
Yeah.
sure, in any role that has anything to do with management, you need that skill. But product management is not a management role. You can be a very junior product manager, but you still, even in that scenario, you do need a very good level of meeting moderation. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about for you? What was the skill that you did not expect would be on the list?
Yeah. For me, it's connected to that topic, and I would phrase it as knowledge management
Oh.
because as the product gets more complex, or you do some research and you are
Hmm.
confronted with a lot of information from all kind of stakeholders, you need to find a way on how to bring that knowledge into a form that everyone can consume it.
Hmm.
And what really, I mean, in the beginning, I was surprised by it. Nowadays, I understand it better, but it's surprising how less people are caring about the product of a company. Maybe that's
Yeah.
different in a super small team, but as soon as, or in a small startup, but as soon as it gets bigger and there, let's say, are more than 10 people, it's so crazy how difficult it is to get the product knowledge. What is our product? Why is it here? What can it do? And so on. How is it working? Into the really deep into the mind of the people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree. I think documentation is one of the skills often forgotten.
Yeah. And no one likes it. Like your
Yeah.
dog. He was just
Yeah, he just
going
heard
crazy in the
about.
background.
He's now coming closer and closer to the microphone. Okay, Pishi, it's okay. You don't need to be part of this.
You don't need to document anything. Just
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah, I'm right now in his turf, so I already apologize for hearing any dog noises in the background.
No worries. All good. Most likely half of the listeners like dogs. The other half likes cats.
His name is Cat, so I think I cover both target groups.
Awesome. So we covered already meeting management. That's for sure. Also dealing with a lot of knowledge. That is also super
Yeah.
important. So you need to be interested somehow yeah, dealing with information, I would
Yeah.
say. Gain information, save them, and make them usable. Okay, so we can wrap up all of that maybe under the headline communication skills. Because as a product manager, you will work with a lot of people and you definitely need to like that, I would say.
Exactly. And clear communication, both verbal and also written, is extremely important because sometimes you need to use that communication skills in creating tickets to share the information, what the product that just was launched was about. And at the same time, you need to have this communication skills for negotiations to influence stakeholders and in various departments. But one thing that I would consider even a little bit more important or like support to communication as a role of the product manager is strategic thinking and having that strategy mindset. It comes handy both when we are talking about the vision and when we want to plan something, to understand the landscape and to understand how you're going to move your pieces to get better at the game, is really really important. You need to understand at the same time how you translate the market insights that you get, for example, from the different teams or from different stakeholders. How do you translate this into insights? How do you understand the market trends, the customer needs, the competitive dynamics based on those insights that you can create and transfer? And as part of this, I already mentioned a little that part of the market insight is the customer needs. In direct connection to that, I would consider the next big or the most important skill right after that would be customer empathy, to have user centric centricity and have a user centric approach to make sure that you can integrate feedback very well into everyday work that you do, and also you have a very deep understanding of the customer needs and the market and the offers currently available to them. What do you think is next on the list, Paul?
Yeah, so I was just wondering, do I need to be super extroverted and talk all the time with customers? What about if I am a little bit shy or I am, yeah, somehow afraid to call unknown people and ask them about my product? That for you a showstopper already?
Um, it's a really hard question because I'm not going to say because of a personality trait you're gonna be able to do the job or not, but it is going to impact how much you enjoy the role. So
Yeah,
if, and also have in mind that there are different aspects of it. So maybe you might not enjoy this aspect, similar to me that I might not enjoy another aspect, but you enjoy something else. And there are always other people in the team that can help you. So if you're not interested in, and not necessarily interested, but if you find it difficult for you to reach out to the customers and ask what their needs are, you can ask your teammate that is really is into this part. They can do it and they can share the feedback with you, or there can be recordings done that to share this with you. Or currently, there are a lot of tools that we can use. Like, for example, Hotstar is a really good tool to use to understand the user's need and how users behave much better without necessarily directly interacting with them.
nice. Yeah, definitely. I really like that answer, and I want to highlight that you are never single player as product manager, right?
Exactly.
I mean, as a solo engineer, I can do complete projects all on my own, but as a product manager, you need to have something to manage, right? It would be, I mean, you can go with no code tools and so on and so forth, but that is maybe a different skill. So you are not alone and you have ideally a team. And if you are open also and talk about what you want to do and what not, you can find someone who's supporting you or find different ways. In the end, it's all about finding ways, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
put that weighs into a strategy. Is that the next on the list? I hope so, because I forgot the list.
I shared the strategic thinking quickly, but please add to it.
Yeah, because as product manager, you are more or less all alone in the middle, right? And everyone has his deep dive knowledge into sales, into user research, maybe into the market. The business developer is producing tons over tons of PowerPoint slides. And then you are grinding through all of that and put that together and translate that one into a strategy, right? How your product should evolve and what first hypothesis it needs to um, confirm or not. And this is not so easy, and you need to be brave enough to experiment around and to find ways on how to move forward.
Exactly. And the next topic, I think, Paul, also, or the next skill is something I would like to understand it from your perspective, Paul. It is technical understanding. How much do you think the role of the product management needs to be technical?
I'm always happy if I hear a former engineer is going into product management because
Hmm.
that proves already a lot of technical knowledge. That helps, definitely, that helps. Um, on the other hand, I think the interest is the key here,
Hmm.
right? The the really deep intrinsic motivation on understanding how the product is working and what technology can do and where are the boundaries, because you need to find the border between, you need to push for something, but you
Hmm.
should not push for unrealistic things. But you should also not push or avoid pushing because you think, that's maybe not possible. And finding that balance is difficult. And as more tech understanding you have, as better. Nevertheless, it's the same thing with getting out and talk to customers. You are not alone here. And you will
Hmm.
always find engineering friends in your network or engineering peer where you can work closer together if you are still developing this technical understanding. And the nice thing, as soon as you start to manage product tech products, you will start to gain that understanding. This is nothing you can just learn in a course. That is experience over the years.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I completely agree. I don't think it's going to be a showstopper. So I'm not technical at all, but I do think I have a very, very basic understanding of some of the tools and the words that the tech team uses. So at least I can communicate effectively with them. So
Yeah.
when, for example, they're saying something about a specific tool, like something happened with AWS, at least I know what they're talking about. When something happened with Knocker, when something happened, so at least I know some of these terms. And I think it is just a technical literacy than technical knowledge. And
And
literacy, I don't
one,
mean like a deep
sorry.
understanding. I just mean that I can sometimes understand what they're saying. When I don't understand, I at least I know that I don't understand this part, and I can ask questions about it.
Yeah. And I want to give two tips here. One is note the questions and ask them in one on ones. I think that is much better than asking newbie questions in a round of engineers and one engineer is answering and all the others are saying, "Oh, I'm so bored, I want to go to sleep," or "I want to continue with my work," however. And the other thing is, stay in the meeting. I
Hmm.
always see product people starting to read emails, starting to do something else as soon as the engineers start talking a bit about more technical things. But you should really value the meeting time you have. Stay concentrated, don't do anything else, and identify what you should learn and what not, and what is valid to ask. And if you find yourself in a 3 hour meeting of engineering discussing about things, then you are in the wrong meeting, right? Then you should
Yeah, true.
work again on your meeting moderation skills because it should be valuable. But yeah. don't be distracted.
Yeah, I agree. And one more item, one more very, very crucial and important skill from my perspective is analytical skills. And in general, data driven decision making, problem solving, I do consider part of the analytical thinking. And I do think for product managers, especially great product managers, or what sets them apart from a good product manager to a great product manager is the fact that they are not data driven, but they are data obsessed.
Hmm.
Like they know every metric of their product, they know how it can move, they know what can impact that metric, they know why it can impact that metric, and they monitor it to the sense that they would understand immediately if something went up or down and can follow up why that has happened. And
Yeah.
also, on top of that, they make decisions based on the data. They go less based on gut feeling and back themselves by data.
Yeah, very true. And they also, I think, great product managers are also able to stick with that data. It
Yeah,
is so easy to be data obsessed for a time, for a while, and then measuring everything, and then the day-to-day work is exploding suddenly. And after 6 months, you realize, oh damn it, I created a lot of dashboards back in the days. What happened to them?
exactly.
And
That's true.
being able to really stick to that and dedicate time every week or even every day to check that without getting bored, that is a very good um, skill.
Yeah, and also this is a this is a very important aspect that we will get deeper into in one of our next chapters when we are actually diving deeper into data analytics and data literacy. We don't need to get very deep into it today, but what I would like to mark or give an asterisk is yes, it is extremely important to be data driven, data obsessed, but also not every metric has the same value. So
Yeah.
find out which is the metric that is the most important to you and be obsessed with that one. You don't need to be caring about every single thing that is trackable because some of them are not providing a lot of value and it's just you're going to be sunken in this pool of data.
Yeah, and you should be obsessed. That's why I really like that you bring up this word, because also you will find yourself in situations where you don't have any data and you
Mhm.
still need to do well educated decisions, and you should not be dependent completely on data, right? You need to be obsessed with it. You need to know when to measure what, but you also have to realize, okay, this decision we are doing right now, and we will measure it later.
Yeah, exactly. We will get deeper into this topic in one of the next chapters.
I am looking forward to that.
Yes, me too. Also, I think we are going to have an amazing guest for that chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hint, hint. Yeah, and another very important skill is project management. We talked also a little bit about it in the previous episode. What are your thoughts on that, Paul?
Project management.
Yeah, as one of the skills for product management.
You need to help me with that. What do you mean?
Exactly. So we talked about it last in the last episode that the project management and product management are two separate roles, but also project management skills such as the organizational skills, knowing agile methodologies, knowing the ability to manage projects or look at some multiple tasks simultaneously and following up with stakeholders and stakeholders management. I do consider these the key aspects of a project management skills, which project management I consider part of a skill that a product manager needs to have. So even though
Nice.
they can be two separate roles, sometimes this can be part of that and sometimes this can be part of that. So it's a little bit of a fluidity and mix combined to each other.
Yeah, if in your team is no project manager, then it's very, very likely that you are the project manager within within your product management role. Yeah, definitely. There's also kind of obsession, right? To
Hmm.
to build a roadmap, to
Exactly.
write requirements, to get an understanding of the scope and communicate that scope efficiently to all relevant people.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And building a roadmap, exactly as you mentioned, it is one of the most important aspects or tasks of project management, and it is part of an organizational skill that the product manager also needs to have.
Also, something for one of our following episodes.
Exactly.
Cool. Anything super important from your side to add to that list, Gonja?
Yes, I have a couple more. By couple, I mean four more. One
Oui.
is adaptability. So that you need to be flexible. You need to have some sort of openness to feedback, to and a willingness to change. So it is always told that the product manager should not fall in love with their product, should fall in love with their customer. I add a caveat to that that they should not even fall in love with their customer, but the customer's needs. Their aim should be solving that need, not necessarily the customer itself. And to make changes and improvements, even though sometimes you may think that product is your baby, is extremely important. So adaptability is also on my list. On top of that, business understanding and understanding the goals of the business model, understanding how the revenue is generated, how what are the financial metrics of the company, and how your product strategy and product goals can align with that is another item on my list. The two last ones are creativity and leadership. So, for creativity, I do consider innovation mindset, continuous improvement, the commitment to ongoing improvement, the openness to new ideas, and the ability to think creatively, think outside of the box into innovative solutions are part of the that bucket. And for leadership, again, even though product management is not necessarily a management role, and also management and leadership are quite different from each other, even though sometimes we use them synonymously. We will get to into that in also another chapter, very very in depth. But for now, I do still consider leadership skills as part of a product management. So you need some sense of ownership, a strong sense of accountability for the product success, and that I consider part of the leadership skills. You need to have ability to lead and inspire cross-functional teams, not because you have the authority, but because you're backed up with data, you did your research, you know what you're talking about, you're backed up by experts in your team. You should, and you also have great communication skills. You should be able to inspire others as well.
So, do I have to watch now all Simon Sinek videos in a
Yes,
very, very long evening?
all of them. In general, yes, all of them. Simon Sinek is amazing. I cannot say anything negative to that. Yes, please do. I think you already done that, but yeah, I really enjoy it, and also I really enjoy his TikTok videos. It's really good.
Yeah, I wanted to arrive to another point because that sounds. I mean, that is super super true, right? And with a lot of years of experiences, you you have that picture very clear. If you are in your early days,
Hmm.
think about that. Be interested, and I forgot the English word for it, but find your intrinsic motivation to deal with all of that topics.
Hmm.
This huge list is not meant as, hey, you need to check all the boxes and then you
Yeah,
can start. No, no, it's exactly the opposite. You need to know, wow, there's a super big ocean and tons over tons of material on YouTube you could watch, but the
exactly.
key point is making action. Be brave, grab your first product, and then increase, like with your challenge, every day a small step. And with
Exactly.
our podcast, you get the right topics and you get the right keywords to that can guide you through this huge ocean of information that is around you.
Yeah, it might have been a little overwhelming with the long list of the skills that you need to have, but all of these skills are also going to come to you over time. So
Yeah,
the first time I was in a meeting with the tech team, I thought Jenkins is one of the colleagues. So and I cannot hear you, Paul, anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, then the next time I asked someone, they helped me. I came from a design background, so it was very different than what the rest of my team was talking about. But slowly, they also were nice enough to guide me through this, and yeah, slowly by slowly, you get all of these skills that are needed for you.
definitely. Um, so true. So be brave and curious and interested, and don't hesitate to work with your first product, because again, you are not alone on it, and there are a lot of smart people around you that want to help you. In general, we
Exactly.
humans, we want to help each other. No one is against you, and ideally you are all in the same group of people that want to realize something great, and you are the one who where all the information comes together, and that have a great chance of steering and influencing and pushing forward. And you
Exactly.
know what, everyone is doing mistakes all the time, and product failure, maybe we should add that one to the curriculum also,
Oh,
is
true.
something that is always happening to everyone. But what I really love on this tech products is that in 99% of the cases, you can deploy a new version, you can try again, you can reiterate over your previous decision and improve it, learn from it, get better, and improve it.
Exactly. Just approach it with curiosity and continue.
Curiosity, that is a very
And listen to our podcast episodes. Recommend it to all of your friends, everyone you've ever known and seen. And please give us a 5-star rating. Thank you. It would be
right.
really
And
nice.
drop your questions in all the channels, because we are agile working on our product curriculum.
True. And if you have any guests that you want to see on this podcast, please let us know.
Have a nice one. See you next
Thank
time.
you. Bye.